Greetings, AFS grant applicants. My name is Holly Herrick, and I'm the Associate Artistic Director at the Austin Film Society. I'm here to tell you about some updates to the instructional video for the 2014 AFS grant. The following instructional videos were made in 2012 by former AFS Director of Artist Services, Brian Poyser. While the videos are still about 95% accurate for the 2014 grant application, there are some important changes that you should note before watching the videos, as well as some new requirements. Please note that the following changes have been made to the AFS grant for 2014. Number 1. The AFS grant was formerly known as the Texas Filmmakers Production Fund, or TFPF, and so it is referred to that way in the videos. Last year, we changed the name of the grant to the AFS grant. Change number 2. The Alpha Cine grant, which was an in-kind package of goods and services, is actually no longer part of the AFS grant. Please ignore any mention of Alpha Cine in the video. Change number 3. The MPS Camera Austin has partnered with AFS to offer a $10,000 goods and services package as part of the 2014 grant. There is a designated space on the AFS grant application to apply for the package. To find out more about what MPS offers as a part of the grant, please see our downloadable 2014 application instructions, which are available on austinfilm.org. Lastly, AFS now accepts work samples on 2 different formats. These are Vimeo links and playable DVDs. Now, I'd like to review the 2 new requirements for the grant for 2014. Number 1, a treatment or a script is now required for every project and must be included with your application. Number 2, work samples can be no longer than 6 minutes. If you'd like to submit a full film or more video material in addition to your 6-minute work sample, you may include a second Vimeo link in the additional supporting materials section of the application. If you'd like to submit your additional video or film work on DVD, you should author your DVD so that both your 6-minute work sample and additional film and video material are accessible from your DVD's main menu. We cannot accept more than 1 DVD per application. However, you may submit your 6-minute work sample on Vimeo and provide a DVD as additional supporting material if you'd like to go in that direction. Just remember that we need 3 copies of your DVD if you choose to send any material on DVD. Now you are ready to watch the AFS grant instructional videos. You may want to replay these updates after you've watched all the videos just to make sure you've got it all. Thanks for applying.
We ask that you use the naming conventions for each one of your attachments. We would like you to name each attachment using the project name, underscore, then your last name, underscore, and then the type of attachment that it is. So the name of your movie, your last name, and then project description, project budget, project timeline, etc. This is very important so that we can associate each one of your attachments back to your application and we're not missing anything. Once you submit your attachments on the website, you can't go back and resubmit them. So definitely make sure that you're ready to submit the final version of each one of these attachments before you do. And again, you can always start your application, save, and come back to it later as long as you remember your login name and password. Okay, so now we'll talk in more detail about each one of these attachments. The project description. So the project description should be 1 to 3 pages. The main point of it is to describe the story of your film, whether it's a documentary, an experimental film, a narrative. Tell us about the story, tell us why it's interesting, be clear about the project, describe it in some detail, but don't get too bogged down. You'll want to describe the production plan, so how are you going to actually pull off this project? If you have unique resources, say if you're a film student and you have access to a bunch of equipment, resources, free labor, be clear about how you're going to be able to bring that to bear on the project. If you have access to a specific location that's going to really add a lot of production value to your film, describe that in your production plan. The fundraising plan, describe to us how you're going to fund this project beyond the money that you're asking for from TFPF. Do you have investors in your project? Do you have other grants that you've already received or that you're going to be going after? Be specific if there's a niche audience or if there's a specific grant that, because of what your film is about, you're going to be eligible to ask for. Talk about that in your fundraising plan. Are you going to be doing a Kickstarter campaign, Indiegogo campaign to find some of the money? Describe that in the fundraising plan. And then also describe the distribution strategy. So what are you going to do with this film once it's done? Are you going to be going after festivals first? Do you have distribution already in place? Have your previous films gotten distribution and you think you're going to be able to get the same people to put it out? This is also where you're going to want to describe any sort of niche audiences that are going to be interested in your film just because of the subject matter. If it's an environmental documentary, perhaps describe environmentally focused film festivals that you're going to be going after, or distribution outlets that, again, are going to be interested in your film just based on what it's about. Some tips on the project description. Be clear, not coy. This isn't a video description, a video box description. You can tell us what the ending is. It's important that we're going to know sort of why the story is important. Don't get too bogged down in too much plot detail. If your project is an ensemble piece, you don't have to describe every single character and what their arc is. You want to make it clear, and you don't want to get lost. Again, will this project sustain the proposed running time? If it's a feature, based on the description of the story, is there enough content in here to merit a feature-length film? Sometimes the panelists will decide this is great, but it really sounds more like a short than a feature, and they'll be less inclined to fund it. You definitely don't want to discuss things that aren't reflected elsewhere in your other attachments. So if you describe a project that's very ambitious and sounds on the page that it's going to be really expensive, you want to make sure that your budget is going to reflect those costs. Or you'll want to describe certain things that you're going to be able to get for free just because of who you are as a filmmaker and what resources you have access to. Again, you always want to show that you've thought through your project from beginning to end, from the production side all the way through distribution. And then lastly, have someone else read it. Do a number of drafts, have other people read it, find out if it's really making sense to them. Somebody who doesn't have any real connection to the project, doesn't necessarily know what you're about, is what's on the page really reflecting what the project is about and how you're going to make it.